Okay, Rays. Now has come the time. I really feel really good about this. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. When we're talking about there's some issues need to be taken up outside the presence of the jury, issues being plural, I could be wrong, y'all. And I could be wrong about this, but one of those issues should be Judge Boyce asking Lori, does she want to testify? Another one could be that the defense will say the state hasn't proven their case and ask for dismissal. Because let me just, and I'm back a few minutes early. We got about 5 minutes before these people are back. Okay? Or at least they said 12:40. For all we know, they might take longer than that. But let me just tell you where I've been for the last 2 years. I have been seeking justice through understanding with Rays on here for 2 years. And I just really have thought, who could the defense be calling outside of Lori? Who could it be that's going to refute anything? I've racked my brain about it, y'all. All I'm saying is I'm not here to get up anybody's hopes. And I really don't want to get my hopes up. But I just have this feeling, y'all, that the judge is going to ask her this, because Nate was talking about Edwards being what he thought was the last of the state's witnesses in their case in chief. So if that's the case, and Judge Boyce has to do anything outside of the presence of the jury, then it has to be one of two things. Number one, he goes down this procedural thing with Lori saying, you can testify if you want. You don't have to. You need to let me know right now that you've taken advice from your attorneys and that you are making this decision in your own best interest. And we'll go into in a minute either side of that issue, whether Lori would say, yes, I'm going to testify, or no, I'm going to testify. But I do want to also state that usually at the end of a criminal case, their case in chief, before the defense gets started, the defense will ask the judge to dismiss this case for lack of evidence, which they know is a crock of shit. But I think that's also a possibility. So I put up a poll. And some of y'all believe that Lori will testify. Others do not. And some are not sure. Right, dodging bullets. But what you got to understand is that a defense team has to put it on the record. Even if it's an overwhelming case, they have to put it on the record that they don't see anything that links Lori to these charges. And that's when the state will say something, and then the judge will make a decision. And y'all, he's going to say, you know, the case is not going to be dismissed. That's what he's going to say. He'll say something along the lines of, this is up to a jury now. Of course, the defense could bring in other people to try to make Lori look like she was brainwashed. And we're not talking about professionals. They might have someone else that says Lori was this way or that way. But they've seen some of that already. The jurors have seen that in cross-examination of the state's case. Remember, y'all, the state is the one with the burden of proof. The defense don't have to put anybody on if they don't want to. But then again, y'all, let's add just a little bit of the components in of Lori speaking passionately to her attorneys today. I think Lori is going to go on the stand. Now, if I'm wrong, y'all can all say, KJ, you're so full of it. You got our hopes up for nothing. But I am telling y'all, this is her one and only chance. If for nothing else, if the defense can't talk her out of it, the defense could say, well, if she gets up there and tries to play the victim and shows a little bit of her personality, you know, the fake-ass personality, then maybe a juror will see her in a more human way. It's a far cry from what that damn hussy and Chad Daybell and the rest of these cult members did when they dehumanized. When they dehumanized these murder victims. But then again, that was another reason, and this is from past education, I guess you could call it. Jodi Arias went on the stand, and she also fought for her life when she was facing the death penalty. And she tried to see herself, let the jurors see her as more human. And I believe one of you on here says she'll have like a little baby voice. She'll act like the victim if she does go on the stand. Just Me says she's used to talking her way out of trouble, so who knows? Yes, Nita Flynn. What other possible way could Lori get herself out of spending the rest of her life in prison? I don't know of any defense witness that could come in there. It can't be someone saying she has a mental illness. She has no mental health defense. She wanted her speedy trial, and she just might want to get on the stand and put this all off on Chad and Alex. That she was oblivious. Her alibi states rather clearly, and it's on the record. She didn't know before. She didn't premeditate anything. She didn't know her children were murdered after the fact. And she wasn't the principal offender. That's what the legal documents that are filed in this case says on Lori's behalf from Archibald. And Butterby says this is Lori's last-ditch effort, basically. Yeah, Sarah, I remember that. Arias was on the stand for 19 days. And if she does take the stand, y'all, yet they hearing about Chad and Lori's sex life was nauseating, Lori will lie and lie and lie. She will, ironically, demonize anyone and everyone. THX says the jury's majority men. She could use her sex appeal. Damn. Damn. Why did y'all tell me before I found out? Lori Daybell will not testify. What a freaking coward. A freaking coward. She can dish all this shit out, but she can't take it? Oh, I know what her attorney told her. Lori, don't do it. We've got appeals to think about. Oh, y'all, this is devastating. This is bad. Damn. I really believe she'd damn do it, y'all. I believe after every lie she's ever told, I thought for sure she'd go on the stand. Damn. Damn. And it ain't even about being wrong. It's about Lori. No one's going to know. No one's going to know how much these cult members were involved because she was never going to go on the stand to tell the truth, don't you know? What she was going to do is she was going to throw everybody under the bus and never say anything. You know, it's a lot like all these other cult members. They're good at telling the jury that they're not guilty, but everyone else is. Damn. Dodging bullets, ain't no telling. Maybe they don't have any witnesses to call. Man, this is the biggest letdown. Damn. Damn. She likes Diamond, says, I don't want to hear from her anyway. And I guess we got to try to make ourselves feel better about this. I mean, I've told y'all plenty of times, I don't believe a damn word that damn whore says anyway. But it would have been nice for her to take down the other cult members. That's what I wanted her to testify for. I wanted her to call them all out. That's what I wanted. But OKJ don't always get what I want. Just like I didn't get a triple murder trial with Chad and Lori sitting at the defense table. I didn't get Lori facing the death penalty. But what I will get is I will get to see that verdict read with her face in the screenshot. And she's going down. She's going down. Let's just see what happens. Butterbean says her lawyers probably thought she'd do herself in. And yeah. Damn. We're back in the courtroom and Boyce is on the bench and attorneys are at their tables. Boyce has some questions on the exhibits and wants to be sure everything has been admitted properly. Y'all, I am so incensed. She wanted to be center stage all this time. She wanted to lie to people in their face. She wanted to take Jesus Christ's name in vain. She wanted to do all these things. But she ain't got enough anything to get on the stand and, oh, this is a woman who wants everyone to believe that her belief system was real to her. Well, if it's so damn believable to her, then get your ass up on the stand, you damn whore. Get up there and tell everybody I still believe it. I still believe the zombies are out of my children. Give me a break. Just as Candace and my friend Jenny said a long time ago, if she really thought what she was doing was in righteousness, isn't that what Rob Wood thought too? Her ass to be going on the stand, don't you think? At least saying, I did it out of righteousness, but now I'm realizing it was all a lie. It's a damn shame, y'all. I'm so damn angry right now. She wants to go on all these stupid podcasts. She wants everybody to think she so loves Jesus. And she's just such a good person. And her shit don't stink. But she can't bring herself to go on the stand and defend her freaking serial killer nature. Great point, the Bethy Boop. I think the defense knows good and damn well the freaking evidence is overwhelming. There ain't a damn thing she could say. Well, I'll tell you what, Seeking Justice. You've been seeking justice. You are seeking justice on YouTube. And I've been seeking justice along with the Rays. And I let my dang self, I wanted so bad to see that damn hussy get on the stand. And I let it override common sense. She is so absolutely despicable. She's a coward. She can murder innocent children, her own children. And you know, there ain't no coming back from this. Those children will never be here again. Charles will never be here again. Tammy will never be here again. And honestly, y'all, I'm so incensed right now. Even with her spending life in prison and she never walks free again, it ain't nothing. It's not good enough punishment for her. To what she did to those victims. Should I even have any hope at all that the death penalty will stay on the table for old Chatty boy? At this point, before jurors are brought in, Blake says there is a clerical error in the indictment. She would like to get it corrected and submit an amended indictment to the court. The defense and Boyce are not aware of the error. Well, they would bring this up now, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? A clerical error. You better hope it ain't a damn clerical error that leads to a mistrial or a freaking appeal. Daughter of Scotland, I think you're right. I said it myself. I said it. I said there is no real justice in this world. I don't know why I even thought that there could be. Man's law is not God's law, and I'm just very, very disappointed. Erica, the damn concubine, is not testifying. Mission Orion, Lori's not testifying. And I am glad that y'all are not in here in the comments going, KJ, why'd you tell us that? I told y'all that's what I felt like. I felt like she would. Knowing how evil and diabolical she is. Knowing deep down that this woman is demon possessed. And it would be the demon trying to slither away from all of this. Rowan, to you, you know how, I mean, many of y'all who've been around for a long time, y'all knew how I wanted so much for it to be this way. Where she could testify and call out all these cult members. Because that's what she would do. Because everything else that would come out of her mouth outside of that would just be lies. Who wants to sit and listen to lies? Oh, yeah. I was looking forward to seeing one of the prosecuting team members there chewing her up and spitting her out. Boyce asked prosecutors to discuss the error with defense attorneys and then bring forth a motion. Boyce leaves the courtroom and we are in recess while the attorneys discuss the clerical mistake. All the attorneys have left the courtroom. Lori asked John Thomas something and he responded, just stay here. So, again, Boyce wants to leave. I guess he's back there playing golf in his little chambers there with the little mini golf set there. All the attorneys have left. For all we know, this little itty-bitty clerical error is going to lead to something. I was so hoping. But it's really not about me anyway. I'm just trying to express how I feel in this moment. After everything that I've been through to research and analyze this case, all the relationships I've made over the last 2 years, This was something I felt in my heart would be so good for the Rays and I to go through together. But I guess now we're going to have to either, we'll just have to just accept whatever comes, and it's just, why did I think that someone so evil would want to explain themselves? I believe it was Judge Newman in the Alex Murdaugh trial said he'd had lots of murderers in front of him throughout his career. And he said he'd never seen a single one ever take responsibility in terms of saying what happened in that moment when they decided to take human life. He's never had one person, ever. Marvin says, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. And that's correct. That's in Holy Scripture. But I wasn't seeking vengeance on Lori. I was seeking to know how uncomfortable the hussy could be on the stand and watch all these other cult members squirm like the freaking snakes they all are. I don't know who just said it, but I saw your words. You said maybe Lori didn't want to testify because she knew that the state would pull that card of Melanie Pulaski. Well, I'll tell you what, at this point, and I said before we found out this, that if Lori doesn't testify, Melanie Pulaski isn't going to testify. And I stand by that. But maybe, just maybe, there'll be something that'll surprise me about this. Maybe this rebuttal case will explain just a little bit more. How do you explain evil anyway? How do you look at it demonstrated before your eyes in a criminal case, a triple murder case? You got this woman here who is, in fact, a serial killer, who did not care about anyone but herself, her needs, her desires, her wants. Everything around her, everyone around her was expendable. I guess what I will say this, because I'm really trying to get out of this funk right now, y'all. I want to see that verdict read, and I want to look at that look on her face. Because when I opened this channel, I had said it many times, and the Rays remember. The eyes are the mirror to the soul. And I want to know. I want to know. Because trust me, y'all, she's not the first and she ain't going to be the last of evil in this world. Can y'all believe this? Nate Eden says, while we're on a break, if you're looking for something to read, here's an interesting story. A Utah woman who recently published a book to help families deal with the unexpected loss of a loved one a year after her own husband's death is now accused of killing him. And didn't know KJ just talked to y'all about that earlier? Huh? Nate Eden is posting the story about this Corey Richens. You think old Nate and I was thinking along the same line? He had recently changed his will and life insurance to go to his sister. So, what can we learn from this, just from these little points? GHB, Utah, LDS, and the husband she murdered changed his life insurance to give it to his sister. Imagine that, y'all. Do you think you could kind of grab hold of that and try to understand where old KJ was coming from? I didn't even know what the damn life insurance, somebody asked in the comments earlier. What I was focusing in on was the GHB. Hammock McCreeve says, quite the MO there. I don't know. I don't think Nate would watch old KJ. I think Nate's got better standards than that. I cuss too much. I had too much colorful language. And no, I don't think Nate got the idea from me. But I'm telling you, I was scrolling this morning, and the Associated Press had come out with it. Or it was yesterday, actually. But anyway, it does distract me momentarily from the fact that damn hussy ain't testifying. If I go back to that completely about her not testifying, I'm going to lose it. Okay, I'm going to lose a gasket. I've already lost several anyway. I'm a nut job. What can I say? I'm going through a midlife crisis. Dodging Bullet says life insurance should be outlawed these days. People are too greedy. I don't think the insurance companies would appreciate that. Chico's mommy says a copycat killers. It's crazy. And to top it all off, y'all, she was an LDS author. And Chad Daybell was. And she talks about how, to tell the children that your family members can visit you and all this. And maybe that's someone's true faith and belief system. Who am I to, all I'm saying is it just lines up. Yeah, DD, it's a damn shame. It was never about being right about it. I was hoping my gut feeling was right. But what I did was I got myself psyched up because they had said that things had to happen before the jury got brought back in, and I thought that's what it was. Rowan to you says, I'm going to write a damn book. Her name is Kouri, Kouri, Richins, Richins. And she's got a court date coming up here pretty soon. Wonder what we could learn. Y'all think that she'll be talking about zombies or light and dark scales? Who knows? She probably does have a lover, y'all. Maybe we'll find that out. Because, her husband, there's a reason, y'all. There's an absolute reason why he changed the life insurance to his sister. Hi, Dormant Gorilla. All right, y'all. The defense attorneys and prosecutors are back at their tables. No, Mary LeSueur, Lori is not testifying because she's a coward. She's a creepy, nasty whore, okay? Who needs to go on to prison. She wants to dish it out. She wants to have all this faith and belief as she goes through orgasm over the text messages. It's disgusting. I don't think that a clerical error could be considered a mistrial thing. A clerical error usually means like maybe something's spelled wrong or a date is wrong or something like that. This will finish up a lot quicker now that she's not going to testify, says Jay. Okay, so some of y'all are trying to be positive about all this, and I'm glad. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, OKJ is madder than hell. No, Olive, she's not getting the last word. If she don't testify, she don't get the freaking last word. The jury will get the last word, and then when she gets the verdict, and here we go into the sentencing, not immediately, but you know, then the victim's family members will get the last word. Because do you really think that if she's not going to testify, that she's going to make a statement? Oh, hell no. No. She's relying on Archie stroking her and saying, we got room for appeals. We got room for appeals. That's what all defense attorneys say. Don't do it, Lori. Don't do it. We got appeals. We got appeals to worry about. Well, I'm just telling you now that even though there have been other instances of clerical mistakes and they had to start the thing over again, I don't think it's going to happen here. But what do I know, right? What do I know? I have demonstrated that I've been wrong many times. That's called being normal, being a human. Nobody knows it all. Yeah, that's true. Anything's possible. Kathy Hall, no. Lori cannot be called in Chad's trial. Technically she could, but she'd have to want to. And since she's a co-conspirator, what do you think the jury in that case would think? Especially if she's convicted. And he's over there saying it was her and Alex. It's a waste of damn time. Ain't got nothing to do with them being married in Idaho. I've done looked that up. Grammy B in North Carolina, I don't know, but he should have. And that will and maybe that did happen, and Nate's just telling us Lori will not testify. Because that is a criminal procedure that has to be done. So how did Nate know that Lori wasn't testifying, right? Justin Lum says what? What does Justin Lum say? Y'all, I'm waiting for Nate to say something. Yeah, well, Lori didn't want anyone to know she is a freaking dang demented serial killer. Oh, right. PJ Keith, you say Justin Lum is back in Boise? Well, that's good. Let me see what we got here. We can go between the two. Well, it just says that he's back in Boise, but it doesn't. He's just, let's see. They're just saying, sources say Lori Vallow will not testify. So, somebody told Nate, didn't they? That's right, Butterbean. Larry Woodcock did say he could hear fear in Lori's laughter. Nate says he was friends with Melanie Pulaski's attorney, but how would he know whether Lori was going to testify or not? Wouldn't that be nice, Kathy Hall, if this is a source that really didn't pan out and all of a sudden? No, I can't do it to myself or y'all again. I'd love it, though, if they were wrong. But a journalist like Nate Eaton and Justin Lum, they're not going to put something out there as important as that unless they've got a good source. No, Carlene Joe's Kitchen, Larry did an interview over the weekend saying that when he sees Lori laughing or chatting, it's fear. That's how she deals with it. Elfo, I wish I knew. I'm looking at this. He hasn't said anything. Jody Allen, it is. It's taken a long time. I don't understand what's taking them so long. They've already been on lunch break. If it's already been decided that Lori's not testifying and then we had this issue with a clerical error, let's just hope for the best, y'all. It says the defense attorneys and prosecutors are back at their tables. We are waiting on Judge Boyce to come back into the courtroom, says Nate. Legally Blonde, there hasn't been any official anything from the defense saying they rest. Let's just hope they ain't got some stupid ass damn people to come in there and say whatever they want them to say. Deb Wagner, if Lori wanted to testify, it doesn't matter what Archie or Thomas says. She makes the decision in consultation with her attorney. She listened to him this time. Because I don't see Archie or Thomas telling her to testify. And I am almost positive that they probably told her, Lori, don't do it because we have appeals. And you just don't need to do it. And why would she anyway? Everything she did was in darkness and secret. Oh, yeah, I know. Everything's been aired out here. There's been a lot of light shed on the conspiracy that she was involved in, along with first-degree murder. But the bottom line is why should she get up there and be cross-examined, right? They probably scared the hell out of her for that. Yep, CAM Lindsay Blake is smarter and prettier than that damn hussy. Come on, Judge Boyce. Appreciate all the hearts in the comments, y'all. Appreciate all that. Yes, Haley King, the judge is going to stream the verdict. Well, T.S. Jackson 72, when you say it's a weak prosecution, everyone has a right to say whatever they want about this case, and I respect that, but I can tell you right now, I think the state has done an excellent job. I think they've proven their point time and time again. Yeah, Paul Top, I am. I'm slumped over because well, I guess I need to pull my chair up, don't I? Sorry about that. Well, so while we're waiting, why don't we just ask a question so I can get an idea of what's going on in the live stream? One, if the state has done a good job, or two, they haven't done a good job. Someone put a 3. I think they've done excellent. They've got all this evidence. I think they've done good. Yeah, you think about it, what, 51 or something like that witnesses? Was it something to that effect? Let me see what it was. It was, I think it's around 51, I think. So, was it 61? I know it was 49 yesterday or something to that effect. Okay, so Boyce is on the bench. The state is prepared to rest, but has brought up 2 issues. One issue is to argue an amendment or alteration to the indictment in the case. And they want to do this shit now, huh? Paula, the question is if, 1, you think the state's done a good job, or 2, you don't think they've done a good job. But here we have the state wanting to amend an alteration to the indictment in the case. And I guess the question is what the hell? I mean, what are we talking about here? So they're pretty much confirming, y'all, that the state's fixing to rest. But the state is preparing to rest, but has brought up 2 issues. One issue is to argue an amendment or alteration to the indictment in the case. Fixed text, the state wants to argue, like you would in a motion hearing, argue an amendment, something added or alteration to an indictment in the case, which to me is got nothing to do with a clerical error. Ann Gibson says the closing arguments need to be really good. We know this case. The jury must be very confused in parts of it, though. Oh, wouldn't that be great, Cindy? Wouldn't that be great? But it ain't going to happen. Cindy thinks that the alteration in the amendment should be, we've decided to put the death penalty back on the table. I bet Lori'd shit herself, wouldn't she? That'd be funny, but we know it won't happen. No, Linda Nolan, I don't think the defense can object during closing. These are just arguments. Closing arguments and opening arguments are not evidence. But they can object if, say, the state was to say something derogatory about one of the defense attorneys or something to that effect. There are a few things that can be done, but it's very rare. Mom Jean says you can object to closing arguments if the law is not said properly or whatever, but I think really what it comes down to is the state should say, don't listen to what we have to say about the law. You need to hear the judge and the jury instructions, but Rob Wood says the state wants to amend some clerical errors on 2 of the counts. 3A and 4A were inadvertently mismarked. Archie asked for a copy of the amended indictment. The indictment that was filed here and signed by a grand jury foreman on May 5th, 2021, 2 years ago. It has not been amended for 2 years. We have requested the amendment as her defense team. That's been denied, and now the state is asking to amend it 2 years later. An Idaho code indicates an amendment of an indictment cannot be amended. So by changing the code sections of the statutes, their proposal is to change the code sections from grand theft with intent to deprive another to grand theft by deception. These are different charges. They are not just mere clerical errors. Mr. M, it's in the eye of the beholder. Anything that if I do art photography or if I do art, it's left in the eye of the eye of the beholder. In other words, it's left in your hands. Now, Archie says this is a big deal, and he's concerned about making the change. This does affect the substantial rights of my client, and if that's the case, this error is fatal. Of course, the defense is going to puff this shit up, make it seem like more than what it really is. Yeah, Sharon, I think you're right. They're going to try for a mistrial here. Right, Jay. You're 100% correct. Why in the hell? And you're not saying hell, I'm saying hell. Why wait to the last minute to do this shit? Why do it? Right, Elfo. Arona Z says the defense is just grasping at straws. They're desperate. Now, Rob Wood says Lori was charged with grand theft by deception and argues there was an error in the indictment with the lettering. So it says grand theft with intent to deprive another rather than deception. You can read the indictment here, says Nate Eaton. Oh, God. So basically what it is, y'all, is in a certain area in the indictment, instead of grand theft by deception, it says grand theft with intent to deprive another, instead of saying than deception. So it is the wording, but Archie is right that those are two different things. I sure hope so, Betsy's Barn, because at this point, evil has a way of slithering away every time. You know, I've read, I think it was in the scriptures, I can't remember, and y'all forgive me for this, but it says, why does it seem that the evil always prosper? Yeah, dodging bullets. Jodi Arias didn't get to slither away. She is spending life in prison, but she slithered away from the death penalty, didn't she? She should have been sent to death row. Her life was spared. Candace Parr makes a good point. The judge can instruct the jury on all kinds of things. Boyce says Idaho law allows minor changes to the indictment before the state rest, but he's annoyed. He says the timing is sort of unbelievable for the number of prosecutors who have worked this case for so long. It's not something that came up until the end of the trial. This is the kind of motion that clearly the court doesn't like having all of our jurors sitting around waiting for us. This could have been done by a motion at any point before now. At this point, the court has to consider it, but the rule does make clear until the time the state rests, the state has not yet rested. So the rule does say until the state rests, the state can make changes if they're minor. So let's all take a deep breath in and out. Grammy B in North Carolina, you're right. This won't cause a mistrial. Judge Boyce has just confirmed that, damn it, this is stupid. The state should have never waited to the last minute. But the state hasn't rested yet. And according to Idaho rules of these procedures, if it's a minor correction, which Boyce seems to think, Boyce does permit a change to the word month when it was listed as months in the indictment. Let's see what else Judge Boyce will allow. Right. Can you believe that? Judge Boyce wants to call out the state for doing stuff at the last minute. But him himself has been very generous with the court's time. Kelly Cantrell and Heather, y'all need a drink? I know, Marcella McNeil. I think everything will be fine. I pray every day. Exactly, Lori Colley. Because the state waited to the last minute and passed deadlines on discovery, that is why Chad and Lori did not get tried together, don't you know? But then some in chat says that this case against Lori would have never met the threshold for a death penalty. So Judge Boyce says, because the language of the indictment does include deception in the caption and in the charging language, rather than in the citation where the error was made, the court would find the indictment may be amended. Whew. Right. Melanie Vallow, that's why you cross your T's and dot your I's. Lori Colley says, I need about 10 drinks. Well, Lori, you have one for old KJ. Make sure it's a good stiff one, though. Harley62 says, okay. That's good. That's good. Go for it, Erica. Rosemary Romero says, let's keep moving, shall we? Jay Thomas says, oh, okay, he's trying to reassure old KJ it's going to be okay. Yep, I think you're right. And don't nobody cross me at this time either. I don't want to hear nobody tell me smoking's bad for me or anything like that. Don't you think I know that? I enjoy having a cigarette. I'm going to have one now. All right, KKB. All right, True Quartz and Crime Junkie. All right, Beach Lady. All right, now, Boyce permits changes in the indictment and asks the state to prepare it before jurors go in for deliberations. All right, y'all. We're going to have to wait and see if the defense is going to call anybody, but I doubt it. Rosemary saying, are we going to get the show on the road? Well, Rosemary, jurors are being brought in right now, okay? Thank y'all for being patient with me. Thank y'all for allowing me to get my hopes up and yours over Lori, who ain't going to testify because she's a damn coward. Mother Goose wants to ask everyone in the chat, who the hell's going to defend Lori? Huh? Who's going to come and take the stand for that damn whore? Huh? That damn serial killer. Somebody give me a good name. Who's coming in? Can't be an expert in mental illness. Give me somebody well, heck, man, Heather Strock says not a damn soul. Oh, yeah, Mark McGarry. Mark Means? Oh, yeah, I'm sure Mark Means would be right there, don't y'all think? Janice or Barry, says Corey Joe. Julie Rose, says Dorothy. Barry Cox, says Mom Jeans. Melanie Hussey. Dracula, says THX. NF Mom, the Bishop. Summer Shiflet, says Erica Grijardo. Oh my goodness, y'all. Chad's grandfather, you know, the one that talks to Chad all the time, is going to come in and testify, don't y'all know? Dorothy says the devil himself. Alex's ghost, says Wendy. The Grim Reaper. Sling Blade. Kobe, I don't think so. Satan. Audrey, Janice. Occult expert. Crazy Janice. Jacinda. The zombies, says Mom on the case. Someone says macaroni and Moroni. A serpent, her neighbors. Bubba, the taco from Antarctica. We now call, I can see John Thomas right now. Judge Boyce, we now call our next witness to the stand. It's the taco from Antarctica. You can see it wiggling in. It's got two little stick hands and little two stick feet. And the taco comes in and gets up on the stand. and the first thing the taco says is, they say, spell your first and last name. I don't have a last name, but it's T-A-C-O. And John Thomas says, well, tell us, Mr. Taco from Antarctica, are you a soft shell taco or a hard shell? And what kind of ingredients do you have inside your shell there? Oh shit, y'all. Lindsay Blake says there are no more witnesses. The state rests, and guess what, y'all? Archibald says the defense would like to make a motion outside the presence of the jury, and a sidebar is being held. Could this be that maybe I was half right? That he is going to go on record outside of the presence of the jury saying that the burden of the state has not been met and that they need to dismiss this case against this damn hussy. Huh? What do y'all think? Yeah, motion dismiss. He would be negligent not to do it, y'all. I'm incensed about it, but it's normal, y'all. Yeah, that's cute. I was a burrito in my past life. And before that, I was a chalupa. I've been on 5 different planets, and on all 5 planets, they've eat the shit out of me. Yeah, they're gonna try it, but it ain't gonna happen. The judge will tell them that this is left into the hands of the jury on whether the jury thinks that the what? Oh, are you? It's just Robbie? Well, I'll tell you what. Y'all remember them old-fashioned 1950s, like you can see it on Grease, those little snacks at the movie theater that are dancing and it shows a hot dog jumping on a bun? Oh, my goodness, man. I don't think we're ever going to forget it, are we, y'all? Tacos in Antarctica. Uh, mm. Right, she likes diamonds on the movie screen back in the old days. Let's all go to the lobby and get us some popcorn and some hot dogs. But yeah, the state has rested. A sidebar is being held right now because Archibald wants to make a motion outside the presence of the jury. Humble Mumbler says that Melanie Pulaski will testify on behalf of Lori. I wouldn't be surprised. She said she'd never do anything to hurt her Aunt Lori. She'd rather die or go to prison. Anna Sore, I wish I could hear all of y'all's laughter. Yep, Butterbean, Lori's going down. Send her to prison, says Cindy K. Yeah, the jury had just been brought in, and now Archie wants to do this. Why didn't he do that before the jury was brought back in? Boyce says at this stage of the proceedings, it is common to have time for administrative matters. A motion will now be argued outside of the presence of the jury, and the jurors will then be brought back in when it is done, and Boyce will announce the schedule moving forward depending on where things land this afternoon. And let's also keep in mind one of the jury instructions, y'all, and I think most of y'all know this already, is that the judge will have to let the jurors know that just because the damn hussy ain't testifying, that doesn't imply guilt. Elfo says justice for the victims and their true families. It's a good point, Elfo. Lori was never really a true family to do what she did. Archibald says Rule 29 provides for a mechanism for the court to review the evidence that's been submitted and determine if there's been sufficient evidence on each count to proceed to the jury. Under Rule 29, we're asking the court to review the evidence and determine if there is sufficient evidence on each count, including overt acts, to submit the matter to the jury. Same damn thing, just different wording, y'all. And I think Judge Boyce is going to say, yes, under Rule 29, you're correct. But I'm saying that this is a job for the jury, not for Judge Boyce. Don't you say that, Florida Frost, that you're having flashbacks of OJ. Please don't say that. Elfo, that's what he's trying to do. He's asking Judge Boyce to look over everything, but Judge Boyce is going to say, yes, under Rule 29, the court to review the evidence and determine if there's sufficient evidence on each count and the overt acts to submit the matter to the jury. And I think the judge he might just take the rest of the day off, although he already knows that it's going to go to the jury. I agree, Zoe Archer. The jury members must get tired of this. So, it if the court needs time to review the evidence, we're not opposed to the court taking time. While the court reviews it, I will ask for a break so me, my co-counsel, and investigator can meet with my client to decide how she wants to proceed with her defense. I will ask for a 15-minute recess to go to a secure location so we can have an open discussion about my client's right to proceed. Y'all think Lori would change her mind? You think they're going to go into a secure location and continue to tell her, no, you made the right choice of not... I mean, they never come out on the record, though, y'all. They've never been out on the record saying that she's not going to testify. Because there is a procedure that the judge has to do where he asks her, this source that Nate and Justin Lum have, they're probably right. But at this point, why do you need a 15-minute recess to a secure location so that Archie can have an open discussion about my client's right to proceed? T.S. Jackson 72 says Lori probably wants to show Archie her taco. Archie, we're in a secure location. John Thomas, we're in here, and our investigator. I want to sit in this chair now. And what I want to do, we all just take these shackles off my feet. I got to spread my legs so you can see my taco. It's got lots of gooey stuff in it. Y'all bite, enjoy it. And it's a soft taco. Yeah, I know. It smells a little bit, but if you hold your nose, you just might enjoy my taco. Oh, somebody says that Lori might ask for a plea agreement, y'all. That's... Erica Guajardo says it's a fishy taco. Yes, the state has rested, y'all. The state has rested, and Archie wants a 15-minute break so he can go back there and basically let Lori know this is it. If the judge looks over everything or whatever, because Archie's telling the judge, take all the time you need, look over everything, and tell me, according to this rule, and I think judge is going to say we're going to give it to the jury. Oh, country girl, let me tell you something. Lori's taco ain't full of sour cream, because I love sour cream. Lori's taco is full of slime. You know, that nasty-ass stuff that's like a trail at the end of a snail. That's what Lori's got. Sour cream is good, OKJ. I don't think about Lori's taco having sour cream in it, okay? A spam taco? Are you kidding me? Some of y'all out here are getting sick now. Okay, we got to change the subject. I'm sorry, but I'm just so mad at the hussy. Okay, it makes me feel better. I filtered through all the crap, okay? Sarah Ann says, and there goes my lunch. Okay, y'all. Let's be considerate. Okay, Jay, it's all my fault, okay? It's all my fault. I should have never brought up a taco in Antarctica, okay? And that Lori was going to take Archie and Thomas back there and show them. I mean, she doesn't really even have... They don't even have to look. As soon as she opens that damn thing, it will smell. It will make the paint on the walls come crumbling down. Diesel 26 says, call Ghostbusters. Oh, I love you too, CHP, and I love all of y'all. I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to try. We're not going to talk about it no more, all right? We're not going to talk about it. I want to see it in the chat now. There are people in here that are actually not, they're getting nauseous. They're not feeling good about it. I think that all of us in here talking about this, you know what, we beat a dead horse, okay? Let's change the subject. Lindsay Blake says they have presented evidence to support all elements of the indictment, and the case is ready to be submitted to the jury at the close of the defense's arguments. She asked Boyce to deny the Rule 29 motion, and Archie says, if we do not present any evidence, then this issue would be moot in any event. Idaho Rule 29 is a motion for judgment of acquittal. Archie is asking Boyce to consider this after reviewing all the evidence. Boyce says everyone needs to leave the courtroom except Lori and her defense team so they can meet privately. So everyone, the audience, the gallery, everyone, the state, and everyone, they're all going to leave. Now we know this ain't a great big courtroom. It's been told. I think Crescia K. Easton of Difficult Research was saying it wasn't a very big courtroom. But just think, every damn body, and that place was packed. So nobody, the judge, the state, the bailiff, the court reporters, everybody, the jury's not in there already. Everyone in the gallery is going to leave. It's going to be like a pin drop in there. And Archie is going to have a talk with his client. That's what he's going to do. And he's going to tell her, unless Judge Boyce agrees to acquit, this is going to go to the jury. And I think he's going to level with her. I think he's going to tell her that. And he's going to say, this doesn't look good. And then he's going to say, but we have appeals. That's what these defense attorneys do. We have lots of room for appeal. That's what they always say, even when they don't. And she's going to have to sit there. And she's going to have to make up her mind, y'all. I think once and for all, on whether she'll testify. 15 minutes to do what? If the source is correct by Nate Eaton and Justin Lum, she's already made up her mind that she's not going to testify. And even Archie says, if we do not present any evidence, then that issue of Rule 29 would be a non-issue in any event. So what is Archie saying? They're going to have somebody there, because he's already just said, if we didn't present any evidence, then that issue would be moot in any event. So he's confirming that they do have somebody. Is Nate Eaton and Justin Lum correct? That she really isn't testifying, or maybe they're going to talk to her. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I am. Joe Liz 1234 says, I think she wants to testify. And y'all, in this country, it don't matter if the defense team kicks and screams on the ground and tells their client, you're not testifying. She could testify if she wants. Is Tina saying it's too late to make a plea? I don't think so. If the state rests, somebody clarify that for me. That's right, Marvin. It ain't Wheel of Fortune. It's real. Once they convict her, y'all, there ain't no turning back. Tina Reddington, if the state rests its case, right, and the defense hasn't moved forward on whether they're going to have somebody or not, and even if Lori doesn't testify, right, can they be discussing a plea agreement? Deanne Lynn says they can make a deal up to the time that the jury comes back. That's right, Momo Shark. There has to be a procedural thing where Judge Boyce asks if she intends on testifying, and she can say no. And Judge will say something to the effect of, well, you've gotten advice from your attorneys, and you make this decision of your own free will. That has to be put on the record, y'all. I'm not saying Nate and Justin are wrong. They're probably right. Yeah, there is some buzz going on around that Lori may testify Molly's mom, but you've got a top-notch journalist in Nate Eaton and Justin Lum. They know the rules of journalism. They're not going to put it out there. Of course, they do preface it by saying sources say. Emmeline, if Lori is sent to life in prison in Idaho, would it be in Arizona's best interest to spend taxpayer money to have her extradited if she's going to spend the remainder of her days being housed and given free medical and fed and all that by the Idaho taxpayer? Because even if they did, Idaho would have first dibs, and what is their first dibs? It's life. So even if Arizona got a judgment on her, she would never go and face any time in Arizona because she's spending the remainder of her life in prison. And I understand that. I do believe that Lori should go to Arizona. I think Charles Vallow deserves justice. I understand that. But we're talking about there is a real reason why Arizona has not charged anyone in the attempt on Brandon Boudreaux's life, and yet they've got actual storage unit video, text messages, the whole 9 yards. Also, they've got an indictment on Lori for conspiracy to commit murder, but they're not moving forward with a trial date. They didn't indict Chad Daybell, and he was in this with them, in my view. Paula does bring up a good point. If for some reason Lori won an appeal in Idaho, you'd have the backstop of the Arizona case. Yes, you're right, Florida Frost. Charles Vallow does deserve justice. But these are decisions. I mean, hell, I think Lori and Chad should be sitting at the table right now facing the death penalty. But did I get my way? No. Gigi, Gigi, she's pretty good about her reporting. I get it, Molly's mom. And I don't want to come off as, if you think I'm coming off in a certain way, I'm just telling you that Nate Eaton has said this. Justin Lum's backing him up. They've been on this case from the get-go. I don't know why they would do that unless they knew that that's what it was. But then again, that might have been the right thing, that she wasn't going to testify. But maybe during this 15 minutes, she'll change her mind. I don't know. I'm just an old country girl from Tennessee following this case. The Rays know that I don't know everything. That's true, KKB. Lori could change her mind. Kelly Cantrell says, please, God, no plea deal. Well, what kind of plea deal would the state of Idaho be willing to give Lori? They've already taken the death penalty off the table. That was their biggest card to play. That was their biggest bargaining chip, and it didn't work. If she gets a plea, says KCL, she would lose her chance at an appeal. So I don't think she will take a plea deal. Okay. That's a good point. Cindy K says it's not a plea. And CHP says the case will go to the jury. So Molly's mom is letting us all know in the live stream that according to Law and Crime, she might testify. Okay? Thank you, Molly's mom. Yes, Be Free. The state has rested its case. The judge is allowing Lori and her attorneys to be completely alone in the courtroom for 15 minutes. Nobody in the gallery, the judge, the bailiff, the prosecuting team, nobody's in there but Lori, Archie, and Thomas. Well, Denny, Lenny, the problem with Lori saying ineffective counsel, Archibald is a certified death penalty attorney who's been practicing law in Idaho for many, many years. And because Lori was indigent, she got that, okay? No, she didn't have a privately held attorney like John Pryor and Chad. But she's got the requirement under Idaho law. So this ineffective counsel shit ain't gonna float. Denise, you feel like you're in a virtual reality game? Well, I'll tell you one dang thing. When Chad goes to prison, he's going to know what Donkey Kong is all about. Y'all think Chad's going to be playing some Donkey Kong with Bubba? This is so weird, y'all, that Boyce has asked everyone to leave the courtroom except Lori and her defense team. You know, that's a weird atmosphere, don't y'all think, for Lori to be sitting there with two attorneys and nobody else? Boyce didn't want them sent to a secured location. He don't want Lori off anywhere but in that courtroom. There ain't no way to explain this case. There isn't. I mean, you can get bits and pieces of it, and you can try to put it all together, but it's so absolutely multifaceted. Yes, Erica Grigiardo, you're right. This case is one of a kind. Well, Mohawk Mom, the jury room is where the jurors are in, right? Candace Barr says this is on the record so that it is known that Lori was given time to go over things with her attorney. I think Archibald and John Thomas is going to say whatever they can just so she doesn't go on the stand. They'll promise her that they're going to win out on appeal, or they might even tell her, even if the judge doesn't dismiss this case, the jurors will never go for it, right? Anything to keep her off the stand. That's what they'll do. Just Looking says, I watch a lot of court cases, and this one is the strangest I've ever seen. Respect Pickles, a.k.a. Sarah, we haven't gotten confirmation that Lori is testifying. At least I don't see any, there's a lot of talk about it, that she might. Carlene, I think Judge Boyce is doing the best he knows how to do. For the longest time, the Rays, after 2 years on this, I was really in his corner as the administrator of justice. But when he started severing the case, taking the death penalty off the table for Lori, taking the cameras out of the courthouse and stuff. Well, I don't think it was the cameras, really. I was disappointed, but I understood why. It was the severance and taking the death penalty off the table that really kind of soured me on Judge Boyce. In terms of this trial and the way that he has done things, there's been some inconsistencies there. But with that said, he has, gotten counsel with his staff attorney to kind of help back him up. He is no legal scholar, y'all. He's kind of new to all this. He's green behind the ears. But all judges start out this way in some degree. And it was the Idaho Supreme Court that appointed him the judge on this case. So the bottom line is I guess he's doing the best he knows how to do. But I don't see anything going back on appeal. Okay, I gotta let my cat in. I hear you, but I don't know where you at. Maybe she's in the bedroom. Come on. Come on. I'll open this door and you go outside, okay? There you go. She was stuck in a bedroom, y'all. I knew it, I hear her. She sure knows how to get my attention. It's just strange, y'all. It's so strange to me that Archie needs time to talk to Lori. About what? About what? Yes, the verdict will be live streamed when it does happen. Y'all, I'm gonna be, if the defense doesn't have anybody and they get it to the jury, I'm gonna be sweating it out, y'all. I'm gonna be sweating it out if it takes more than a few hours. I think Mark McGarry said in less than 3 hours. Cheryl Russell, there ain't no damn way that a serial killer's gonna get an Alford plea. Ain't no damn way. That's a good thought, though. I understand why you'd bring that up. You've stuck with that too, Mr. M. You said it would be 3 hours. And you've always said that the verdict would be in 3 hours. No, NF Mom, I don't think that'll happen. Respect Pickles, aka Sarah. There might be a difference in opinion there. Maybe Lori was being passionate about talking to her attorneys earlier, and she really wants to testify, but they don't want her to. I don't think it would be any less than a couple of hours, though. I don't think they just go in there and turn right back around and come out. There's just too much dang evidence to go over. Crystal says, could they be discussing a plea deal? I doubt it. Right, dodging bullets. Reality hits us in the head, y'all, with dodging bullets comment that 15 minutes, Lori and her attorneys being private with one another is really more like 30 minutes. Every time they tell us 15 minutes, it's twice that time. Diamond Eyes has made a good point. None of us, well, there might be, but I'm not an attorney, so I don't know. Mohawk Mom says they're going to call it a day, probably. I wouldn't be surprised about that. There's several of you, Denny, Lenny, and others, that are saying that Archie's trying to talk Lori out of testifying. There are around 75 to 100 people waiting outside the courtroom to see what the defense team will say once the doors open up. If that ain't putting y'all on the edge of your seat, I don't know what is. Well, I'd say Julie Foreman, there's a lot of people on here that are a trip. Tammy Brown says, high drama. Marilyn Landis says, oh, Lord. Christina Hill says, my heart is beating bad. C. Peep says, chain smoking going on over here. Deb Wagner thinks Lori's throwing a fit. Goodwill Squatter says Lori wouldn't want it any other way. Isn't that how Lori is, y'all? Isn't that how she operates? Everybody's on her time. Whatever she wants. This whole bullshit about her not wanting to be in the courtroom when her children's bodies were displayed on the screen. She better just wake up and realize that she is going down. You think about it, Rays. You remember? Back when she was being represented by Mark Means, and Mark Means wanted her to have her very own cell phone in her damn jail cell? Give me a break. Think about this stupid woman. This woman who could have spoke up at any time in the last 3 years. If she really thought that her kids were safe and that she didn't think anything had done wrong, why not tell the law enforcement people? Why not? Because she knew. And it was all spelled out in Summer Shiflett's jail phone call with her. That is damning evidence. It's damning. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the room of these jury deliberations, because like Denny Lenny said, could you imagine they're going to finally get to talk to each other about the case, and I bet you anything they'll at least take the first hour to say, what the hell? What the hell did we just witness? I'll tell you what we all witnessed, even though there wasn't any cameras in the courthouse. We witnessed evil. That's what we witnessed. Sorry about that, Justice J. KJ gets a little loud. You might want to put earplugs in or turn the volume down. That's right, Mother Goose. And a lot of people don't want to believe that, but it's true. It's true. And it's very rare. It's very rare that you get to look and see what these people, they can dress it all up. They can say it was zombies or the end of the world or light and dark scales, multiple probations. They can even try to pull stuff out of their Book of Mormon or the Holy Scripture and hide behind it and use the name Jesus Christ all they damn well want. But when you put all the noise aside, all it was ever about was dehumanizing innocents, playing with their victims before they murdered them, and then murdering them and collecting their money. That's all it is. It's called they made a decision. Each and every one of them. You know, I don't believe that Lori's got a conscience, because I think she's psychopathic. But if she does, she has to make a conscious decision to decide to do anything. It's called, y'all, something that we don't hear of much anymore. It's called personal responsibility. And none of these damn cult members, none of them are taking it. And when she first got arrested in Hawaii, that would have been the time. When she left Hawaii to go back to Idaho and she got arraigned, that would have been the time. Any time at all, she could have got with her defense team and said, hey, this all went bad. This all went wrong. I really believed this stuff. Done everything she possibly could to show remorse or anything. But the only time this woman has ever shed a tear was for herself. It's never been about anybody else. It has been 29 minutes into a 15-minute break for Archie. Does that tell us anything? Could it mean that this is how this court is run anyway and it has no significance whatsoever? Or is the defense attorneys getting in intense discussion with their evil, hussy client? And by the way, it is 2:19. So they still have a little over an hour to do something today. Unless, of course, like one or two of you have said, They just decide to call it a day. Natalie Huber, I would agree. I think the jurors are all wondering what the hell's going on. And they're probably sick and damn tired of it. And y'all think of everything these jurors have had to take in for the last few weeks. Having to come in, having to come out, having to come in and coming out. Taking long breaks, calling it a day. Thank you, MM. Thank all of y'all for being here. I want the Rays to always know that after all of this time, KJ's going to do everything I can to see it through, to get justice through understanding. I would not even want to go there to think Lori's going to try some of this bullshit, incompetence crap at the last minute. It's a damn shame. Be free. I think you got a great point there. The jurors should get paid more than $20 a day. They're probably missing out on a lot of money right now. If for nothing else, they're missing out on their families to have to hear about this crazy ass shit here, where this woman murdered her kids and helped murder her nasty ass boyfriend / evil husband, murder his wife. Mississippi Mud Pie says, being put through all this BS for $20 a day. Yin Yang still thinks she's going to testify. I was told by Nate Eaton and Justin Lum that she's not going to testify. I've relied on them from the get-go. And I'm glad I have. They've made little mistakes here and there, but they've always corrected themselves. I don't see them making a mistake on this, because that wouldn't be a little mistake. Mark McGarry says, I think it's over. All I'm saying is I can't rack my brain. I'm not smart enough to wonder who the defense would call as a witness other than Lori. Y'all, I'm still refreshing, but it's ridiculous. And Goodwill Squatter and all the rest of y'all say they're heading back in. Are they heading back in? Do y'all have confirmation of that? Gigi says she's still thinking. Just looking, I really believe something's going on. I'm just not sure what it is. And after letting myself down and some of the people on here that wanted to believe OKJ when I said Lori was going to testify, I'm just not willing to go any further with it now. At this point, I throw my hands up in the air about the whole damn thing. No, I'm not walking away from it. No, I'm not giving up on justice through understanding. But I am telling y'all, I'm sick of this shit. I'd like to believe you, Mark McGarry. But I just don't know. You're right, Rosebud. They don't have a defense. The only defense that they've even tried to even present in terms of any of this, they started out this case, the defense started out just basically re-emphasizing or having clarification on what the state just examined someone saying. Then they go into this whole bullshit about, Lori was different before meeting Chad, and now you've got John Thomas saying stuff like, well, just because you see all these text messages and calls around the time that Tammy's murdered, they could have been talking about where do y'all want to go to lunch and all this other bullshit. Come on, y'all. Claire Huster, I wish I knew the answer to that. What are they up to? I don't know. This is absolutely bugging the heck out of me. They're milking the clock, says JLJ. Well, that's a possibility. They can milk it all they damn well want. The bottom line is it's not going to stop her from getting convicted of a triple murder and spending the rest of her life in prison. I can tell you that. That's one thing I am sure about. 100% sure about is that Lori is not getting out of this. We are back in the courtroom. When I walked in, says Nate, Lori had a big smile on her face. I guess she got Archie or John Thomas to munch on that taco, huh? Well, we're fixing to find out what that means. Y'all, Lori's got a big smile on her face. She spent time alone with Archie and John Thomas. Bend me over, Archie. Do what my Storm used to do for me. Yours has got to be bigger than old Chad's. Chad's has got the littlest one in the world, but Archie or John Thomas, I don't care how little it is. It can't be any littler than my chatty boys. Someone said Lori's smiling and wiping her mouth. Oh, you missed a drop, Lori. Oh. I'd say as much stress as Archie and John Thomas have been through and all of this, doing Lori quickly, wasn't a thing. First of all, they couldn't feel it, but, just the mere thought of doing it, probably got them what they wanted. Boyce is on the bench. He says he has taken Rule 29 under advisement. Archie says, we don't believe the state has proven its case, so the defense will rest. Lori's not testifying, y'all, and the defense is resting. So the defense is not calling anybody. That's why old KJ couldn't think of one person. Now, if they'd had a mental health defense, that'd been a different story, but they didn't. Boyce tells Lori she has the right to exercise her Fifth Amendment right and cannot be compelled to testify. He asks if her decision is to not testify, and she says, yes, Your Honor. Her decision is to not testify. She's smiling, y'all. They must have really filled her head full of crap. She had everything in the world to say before, didn't she? All these, this whole dang 2018, 2019, 2020 before she gets arrested. She had everything in the world to say, and it was all lies spewing out of her nasty ass mouth. Now she wants to be quiet, don't you know? But even though she's not testifying, y'all, the bottom line is this case is closed. The defense has no defense. You can't defend against the mountain of evidence that the state has provided. We could have a verdict, y'all, by the end of the week. Today is only Tuesday. Well, that's true, Bella Italia, but maybe the state won't have a rebuttal case because the defense didn't put anything on. Jurors are being dismissed for the day. Tomorrow, Boyce will meet with the defense and prosecutors to work on jury instructions. Closing arguments will be heard Thursday morning. So tomorrow we're going to get a day off to let all this soak in, y'all. Go and listen to the audio this evening. Thank you for being patient with me today and letting me be wrong, which I wished I hadn't been, but then again, it's working out the way it's supposed to. I love you all. We'll see you Thursday morning. I might do a live stream tomorrow night to recap the race. I don't know yet. But anyway, I love you all. Have a great evening and keep on looking.